This is Cendric with Cendric Gaming, coming to you today with another Minecraft video. Or, well, not Minecraft video, just a video in general. Today's video is going to be about something I think that every game group should be doing, and that not every game group does. We call the thing that everybody should be doing Session 0, and that's what today's video is going to be on. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I got a couple of links for you down in the description. One is to Patreon, where you can help support me in the process of making new videos and more videos, and of course better quality videos. There's also some Discord perks and a few content perks as well to go along with that Patreon support. And then we also stream on Twitch. Link for that will also be down below in the description. I try to stream about once a week. You're more than welcome to join me on those days. It kind of varies depending on my work schedule, what day I do. But would love to see you there. Play a variety of different games, of course, including Minecraft. We've got Heroes of Might and Magic. We've got some Fallout 4 going. Just pretty much whatever, hits my mood. I probably will also be downloading the Steam tabletop simulator, where you can play tabletop games and be playing with people. As we get more and more people watching the streams, we'll be playing more and more games and hopefully be playing together. Anyway, in today's video, like I said, we are going to be covering a topic called Session 0. Typically in tabletop, what happens is that, you get a group together. Nobody has any idea what they're doing. There's no real, put together plan except on the GM's part as far as what the plan is in order to, do the game. And so everybody's just kind of sitting out there in the wind, wondering, okay, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? How's the group working together? Everything else. It may also be a type of campaign that, the GM is really excited about, but the players themselves are not. The players themselves are just like, they're not really the style of campaign I'm looking for. Can we do something else? And all of this is stuff that we can, resolve with a Session 0. And basically, all a Session 0 is the group coming together and saying, hey, we want to, play this game. These are the rules behind the game. These are the characters that we're going to play based off the campaign setting. The GM is pitching his campaign setting to the players, basically saying, hey, this is the game I want to run. Is this a game that y'all are interested in playing in? At its essence, that is exactly what a Session 0 is and what a Session 0 does. There's more to it, of course. This is also where, basically the group is getting the agreement for the social contract of the game, as far as what the players can and cannot do to each other. It's where consent is given for, inter-party, PvP, and other issues like that. And basically, all around, just figuring out how your party is going to work together and everything else. So probably the easiest session that you'll ever run for a game group, but also the most important one. And this is one that you don't want your players to be missing. This is the one where everybody does need to show up. Because if people don't show up to this one, then what ends up happening is people don't give their consent, and other people did, and it can just cause some really, really serious issues. down the road with the whole, you attack my character, I didn't agree to allow that to happen kind of mentality. And so this, like I said, is the one session where everybody absolutely has to be present. If they're not, then, be willing to put it off for a week or two. Just to make sure that everybody has a chance to be there. Everybody has a chance to actually be involved in it. And more importantly, everybody has the ability to make an informed consent decision with their characters. As far as like actual character creation, you don't necessarily have to do that in a session 0. I prefer to do it during the session 0 just because it allows me as a game master to get a feel for what everybody's playing, kind of what their thought processes are, where their backgrounds are going to play into each other, whether there's anything that I really need to be aware of to prevent issues, or do rules research myself. Just because I don't care how good of a GM you are, you're not going to know all the rules all the time for how they pertain to each exact class each and every time. And if you do, hey, great, more kudos to you. But most GMs are like me. We have real lives, we have jobs, we have a lot of things that we do outside of running games. And so, being able to basically put, there's a lot more to it than what a lot of people have time for. And so, it's generally a good idea to, figure out what your players are playing and have the time before your actual first real session to know kind of exactly what they're doing. Just because otherwise, I went too far again, you end up with situations that could easily be prevented, and you're not preventing them. So, like I said, nothing necessarily wrong with not knowing the rules, but taking the additional time that you need to learn the rules for each class that your characters or your players are going to be playing, probably a good idea, and will prevent you a lot of heartache later, and just basically keeps you from, getting yourself in trouble. And so that's kind of why, I take the time to learn the players' classes at that session 0. Just so I can take the time to look up the rules that I may need. And there's been plenty of times where it's turned out I haven't needed to actually learn any new rules because they've all just gone with basic character classes or basic skills. And, so we haven't had the necessity of, actually bothering with any of that. So, that's not always going to be true, though. So, you just kind of got to be careful with it. That kind of brings us into the second topic of today's video, which is a lot of times you're going to have players that have absolutely no idea what to play. And a lot of GMs will make the mistake of just manually assigning them a character and going, oh, well, you can make a new character later on after you figure out the system. The issue isn't that they don't know the system. The issue is that they genuinely don't know what kind of character to play. They don't have basically a character idea. And this is true regardless of what system it is. They don't have a concept in mind. They don't understand or they don't know what it is that they really kind of genuinely want to play. And so you have a choice as GM. You can either assign them your character, which depending on, the campaign or anything else, that actually may be an appropriate response. However, typically it's not. Typically, assigned characters, players don't form any kind of attachment to. They don't really care about them, and they really don't enjoy them anywhere near as much as they would, let's say, a character that they figured out on their own. And so that's why I build characters based off of concepts. And so, if I have a player that, is kind of running into that, situation where they're not exactly sure what they want to play, well, instead of just assigning them a character, I start asking them questions. Well, do you enjoy, fighting? Oh, well, yeah, I enjoy fighting. All right, do you want to do like high amounts of damage, or are you wanting to? And you start kind of just guiding them through the things that they enjoy, and you come up with a character class based off of the things that they answer your questions for. Sometimes they may actually have a concept, but they have no idea what character class would go best with said concept. For example, they may come across and be like, I don't ever want to get hit in melee combat. Okay, well, not a problem. I know the rule set well enough to be able to go, okay. So, this is going to be the best character class, for that concept. This is how we do it. And these are the different features that class is going to be able to have. What do you think? Well, I like the idea of not physically getting hit, but, that class doesn't really sound too fun to me. Well, okay, not a problem. We can make some changes to it, or, figure out a different way to accomplish, the thing that you're wanting. And you start working with the player. Basically, at the end of the day, it comes down with actually working with the player and taking the time to actually talk to the player and figure out what it is that they're going to enjoy, and not just randomly assigning them something. I don't know about you, but I've never really enjoyed pre-generated characters that I wasn't able to take a little bit of time and customize. That's just me. And most of the players that I have ever played with, they tend to not enjoy that themselves. They tend to enjoy it more when they can play the kind of character that they want to play. And so that's, kind of the crux of it, is do you basically force them to play what you want, or are you going to take the time to actually work with the player, figure out what it is that they want to play? Because if you're going to work with the player and figure out what it is that they want to play, you're going to have a happier game group, and at the end of the day, you're going to have a better game group. And that's probably more important than anything else, is better game group, or a game group that isn't happy. So, take that for what you will. Once again, this is just advice. It's not, the be-all and end-all of gaming. And hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like and give me a subscribe down below. Thank you.